Anyway, let's move on, shall we, to the Transmaxxing Manifesto. Now, this is a slightly strange, slightly disturbing area of the internet that I found myself falling into. I'm not considering it. I've had long hair before, but I'm not going back anytime soon.
No, you transmax as much as you need, mate. I'm very
Fair play. Well,
supportive.
the thing is, I only just really learnt about what transmaxing is through researching this this segment, and honestly, while it is strange and not anything I would recommend, I can understand the reasons that some of these men are choosing to do such a thing. Are you aware of what it is? Because I'd only heard of it through memes and such.
Not really, but I can guess through just it's becoming as trans as possible, right?
It's the incels adapting.
Right.
The incels adapting to modernity, which has already trapped
Improvise,
them.
adapt, overcome.
That's exactly, yes. Bear Grylls in a wig. And as such, I thought it would be appropriate to draw everyone's attention to an article that Thomas did back in June called Insildim is only going to get worse. This is a premium article for premium subscribers. It comes with a audio track for silver members.
And he was right.
And he was absolutely right. This is a very prophetic article because, yes, Insildim is only going to get worse, has already got worse, and will probably continue to get worse for as long as we're trapped in the benign reality of modernity, because this is what it's driving men to. So, to explain what transmaxing is, I don't think there's anything better than Mary Harrington's headline to this article, Why are incels turning themselves into girls?
Well,
it is.
It kind of explains itself, actually, doesn't it?
Didn't you have a thesis about this to do with a particularly notorious incel?
Oh, well, I mean, possibly, but let's carry on.
Yeah, let's carry on. So this is just talking about how incels are adapting to the fact that they aren't ever going to get laid, or at least feel that way, and feel completely rejected by society, and hate their lives, and are just completely miserable and dejected, isolated, by going, well, everybody seems to like trans people, and trans people seem to get lots of benefits from society, and have a lot of fun, and if I can pass well enough, because a lot of these incels are, let's be honest, twinks as it is, like, well, if I pass enough, most people just seeing me will treat me like a woman anyway, and people generally treat women in a much nicer way than they treat men.
Well, this is what women who have become men have found.
Yeah, exactly. This is the red pill that lots of feminists don't want to take, which is by virtue of being a woman, you are treated much nicer by people in your everyday interactions than a lot of men are. Men are kind of just expected to just get on with whatever life throws at them.
Are we going to do
coddled.
that Nora Vincent book?
Yes, I've got that book. I need to, because she definitely discovered. Sadly, it would be appropriate as well, because sadly she did go ahead with assisted suicide last year as well.
Last year, right?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't know if this is entirely accurate, but it was supposedly pushed on by mental problems that she developed from her year pretending to be a man. So for those without any context for what we're talking about, Nora Vincent was a journalist who decided to test the theory that men have it better than women, men are just treated better and have every opportunity at life thrown at them, and she decided to do that by dressing as a man for an entire year and living as a man for an entire year. Yes, very convincingly, and found that it was horrible and that she hated it and that nobody was nice to her. Nobody held doors open for her. Not that that was the main thing. Just the sort of general privileges that she had come to expect from being a woman and the way that she was treated by men suddenly vanished, and suddenly she discovered that men have it very difficult on the day-to-day, especially destitute men, especially men who aren't in a position of privilege already due to birth or their job or anything like that. It's not a nice position to be in. And these incels are people who have internalized that and taken on the trans narrative, not for purely ideological reasons, but for purely practical reasons. They're just like, well, if I can become a woman and have a nicer life, I'm going to do it. And there is also, of course, a sexual aspect to this, which we'll get onto when we start to take a deeper look into the Transmaxxing Manifesto itself. But there are some genuinely understandable and very lucid reasons that these men are giving. And it is horrible to me that they feel the need to have to go to such an extent, because they shouldn't have to be able to live a good life. And the only way I can see to reverse this kind of trend where men feel the need to have to do this, or at least a certain type of man, is for modernity to just die the death it so rightfully deserves. But we're nowhere near close to that at the moment. So
Prince William needs to burst in and beat a few of them up.
That's what he needs, and he needs to shout at them to fight back while they're at it as well.
Yeah, exactly,
Fight back, come on, hit me, don't try and hit me. So this article is great. It talks about some of the reports that have been made. So some report of making up... Once again, this is very lucid, and they're not doing it for any ideological
I'm not saying
reasons.
It's irrational.
They're making up stories of gender dysphoria for medical professionals, while others self-induce gender dysphoria by watching sissy hypno. Okay,
I've never heard of
sissy
this.
hypno, and this once again kind of proves Connor's thesis about just how damaging pornography is to the especially to the male mind. Absolutely right, because these men are watching sissy hypno.
But also, it's not a born this way argument, right?
No, of
you are
course not.
training yourself. You're habituating yourself into this.
And this also lines up with other examples we've seen from like posts on the male to female Reddit forum where they're just like, well, I got into this sissy porn, and all of a sudden I felt that I should be a woman. Okay, all right. I never felt this way before.
Primary argument against sissy porn.
It just happened, yeah. It's a type of video in which hypnotic and sometimes also pornographic, unsurprisingly, stimuli are combined with messages encouraging the male viewer to embrace feminine looks or behaviour.
I brainwashed myself into becoming a woman. Right, okay.
Yes,
all right.
Exactly that. And like they say here, they're abandoning the civil rights born this way narrative. They're just saying many transmaxers report that the interventions have significantly improved their lives. Why, such individuals might ask, does anyone need a born in the wrong body story to justify something that just works on its own terms? That's kind of a difficult question to respond to.
It just tells you the way that society's rigged for, right?
Yeah.
It's loaded in the direction that actually being trans and being a woman is much more preferable to being a loser man.
I mean, my problem with it is still works in favour of a lot of the negative social forces going in society. If men just accept it, men should be the ones providing the bulwark against these kinds of ridiculous developments in societies. We should be setting the boundaries, but these men are going along with it because they basically see themselves as having no other choice.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, of course, it means you are, like so many others, just a customer for the medical profession for the rest of your life, basically.
Yeah.
But then this article linked to this Substack article called Transmaxxing, the Incel to Trans Woman Pipeline, that goes into a lot more detail because, once again, this Transmaxxing Manifesto, which is available for anybody to look at online, if you go into the comments down below, you can read the whole thing for yourself, is 73 pages long.
What?
73 pages long.
Christ, okay.
And not only that, they have lots of studies that they really understand deeply. These are not people... I mean, you talk about incels. These are definitely 4chan autists.
Right.
Because they've gone to the 4chan autist level of detail to look into all of this. They even refute most of the sort of civil rights, pro-trans lobby arguments by just going like, well, yeah, this doesn't work, this is stupid, here's some pictures of some horrible failed attempts at creating a vagina.
But now I'm off to see my boyfriend and I'm not an incel anymore.
Well, yeah, basically. They're saying, well, if I transition and then all of my other incel friends transition as well, then technically we're just sissy trans lesbians, therefore we're not gay. And it's completely understandable. They've rationalised it away to
Can't get a girlfriend? Become the girlfriend.
They have memes
Of course
basically saying that.
Of course they do.
So, yeah, I'll just read through some of this. For some men, the solution to the despair of living as an isolated, unhappy male is straightforward. Just become a woman.
I'm not even angry. I'm not judging. It's like,
That's the thing. It makes sense from the position we're in society right now. This is just what society has driven some men to do. Yeah. What was it? In an insane society, the only rational decision is to become insane.
Yeah.
There you go. How society benefits from people transitioning. This is part of the document that they've listed out here. Mm-hmm. Incels will become less likely to develop or maintain problematic political beliefs or become violent. They will instead benefit from accelerated hypergamy, I don't know how you spell it. Hypergamy.
So
which is just increased female sex drive, isn't it?
No. Oh. It's the practice of women essentially sort of marrying up marrying men for status and then improving their position in society by moving between men at higher statuses.
Yeah, so it's basically saying, well, if I transition, I can become a whore and be celebrated for it. Yeah. Which is just fact-check true, sadly.
And gynocentrism, obviously.
Yep. How to transition, the 13-step process that involves watching anime and sissy hypno porn to induce dysphoria. Yeah, bank your sperm, begin hormone replacement therapy. Look at this. I'm sorry, just look at this meme here. We've got the virgin antidepressant user. Now, I'm just describing this for those listening, which just looks like the virgin walk meme versus Stacy transitioner. So they're still using the incel Stacy language there. But look at some of the reasons they're giving. Growing ever more feminine, basically living a sexual fantasy 24/7. On the right side of history, you're actually special and worth remembering. Bargain HRT from Kiev. Oh, all right. Massive friends groups of transitioners and cis women, because some of these people are just... They're also saying, well, normal women will also like us more because they'll perceive us as less threatening.
Now they have friends, now they have a social life. Because you see it before, like, not cute, never will be, never have a girlfriend, destroyed personality to be more useful to a system that hates him, atomized individual, literally no one cares about you, pills don't work anyway, to be forgotten, seriously not happy, lied to by chemicals, kill sex, all the, like, you can see why someone would choose to get out of that position by transition.
One of the other reasons to transition right there, one of the most oppressed minorities, women and leftists will love you. So basically, just people will treat me nicer.
But the virgin antidepressant user, if that person isn't being oppressed by society, who is? Yeah. Like, but no, once you trans, now you're oppressed. It's like, because everyone likes me and I get everything. It's like, really, that's oppression, is it? And
once again, though, there is definitely a fetish element to this as well, because one of the reasons given is just saying trans women have way better sex than chads. On estrogen, you will experience multiple full-body orgasms. All right, if you say so, and there is a 1,200 plus member Transmaxxing Discord, which includes men who have transitioned, those who are merely interested, and everything in between. And there are Transmaxxing success stories in the chapter, a full chapter of that in the Manifesto, which I presume have been gotten from interviews with these people and also just stories that have been seen in this Discord, because there are some screenshots from the Discord. And it just says, 4 years ago, I was an edgy, right-wing, anti-SJW teen who was borderline MGTOW, so this is one of your
someone who used to subscribe to me,
Yeah, now I'm a gay cat girl dating an anarchist trans girl. So they've gone from you to Dev.
Okay, it's fine.
Is what's going on.
I just feel bad for them, to be honest.
I know. Kat the Vat, a YouTuber and member of the Transmax Discord, suspects the Manifesto's porn talk, and particularly fantasies about forced feminization, may serve a practical purpose for would-be Transmaxers. So it's basically just like soothe them into the idea of it by just telling them about how pornographic the whole thing will be, and how you'll just live a 24/7 sex fantasy.
But you know what this is? This is an excuse for not getting fit. This is an excuse for not working hard. This is an excuse for all of these things.
Well, it can be, but also, once again, if you are just the little Twinkie boy and you still get fit anyway, the likelihood is, okay, you're fit and you're a twink. Women care a lot about height.
Yeah, they do, but I know lots of vertically challenged men who are married. Like, this obsession...
We believe in you, Callum.
Well, yeah, but Pete as well, they're all successful with women. It's just that,
There's got to be a certain confidence that you put forward.
But there's also, it's a certain class of woman who's obsessed by height. And okay, if you're a short guy, that's not your girl, right? You find a woman who's not excessively obsessed with height and is instead concerned about something else. Because, there's a huge range of personality types everywhere. So it's not the end of the world. Just don't worry about those ones.
But once again, I can understand where these men are coming from. Purely from the original position of my life sucks. Everything in society around me is designed, explicitly designed, because I am a white man, to push me down.
I don't blame you for trying to escape that, but...
This isn't the answer. You're basically just falling into the enemy's paradigm by doing this. Even if you are rejecting the born this way narrative, you are still becoming a patient for life, you're becoming a customer for life, you're still just falling into the trap, basically.
And also, you're not getting the thing you actually wanted, which is a family, right? Like, you wanted a girlfriend so you could get married and start a family. You're not going to get that.
No.
That's why you got to bank your sperm, which good luck with that.
Yeah, but I do like one thing about this, which is it's going to absolutely piss off your typical trans activists. They are not going to like the assumption and then the proven evidence that if you transition, life doesn't get worse. You don't suddenly become the oppressed class. You actually become somebody that society values. Yeah, it is a privilege right there. And then we've got more testimonies further down in the article. So Tina, a 23-year-old German transmaxer who's been living as a woman for the past year, transition has been a solution to Insildim. Tina came to two crucial conclusions from being rejected by a load of women over the years. First, that men are replaceable from a reproductive standpoint, and second, that 1 in 20 men are doomed to become incels because of the imbalance in the birth-to-sex ratio. On average, 105 boys are born for every 100 girls, although that ratio can vary.
But that's not understanding that men kill themselves and die through stupidity at a much higher rate than women.
This
there
is
are
true.
more women than men.
Incels need to bank on the stupidity and recklessness of other men.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a fair point.
That's totally true. My wife sends me these videos all the time of some guys like, he set up a bike ramp on the roof of his house or something to try and land in his swimming pool or something like that.
That sounds pretty fun. Can I get in on this?
Exactly. And she's always like, it's always men doing this stupid stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, because we're not like women.
Yeah.
You don't understand. But if you actually look at it, the population of Britain is 49% men, 51% women. And it's probably the same in Germany and everywhere else, because it's one of those things you actually need to produce more men because men are stupid.
We'll just take ourselves out completely by accident.
Yes, we will.
I mean, Pete, in fact, has actually saved me once or twice just because I was about to walk on the road without looking either way, just because I was like, fine. My animal instinct tells me the road is fine right now.
Exactly.
When this Tina person learned that anti-androgens, which suppress testosterone production, are often prescribed to trans women as part of hormone replacement therapy, he decided to fake gender dysphoria in order to access the drug. I had never concerned myself with any kind of trans stuff before, but after going to several trans-specialized psychologists and telling the completely fake, Tina's own words, dysphoria story, the general gist of it is, I've had gender dysphoria since I was 14, I'm uncomfortable around women and I envy them for their femaleness and all that kind of S. Tina received a diagnosis of gender dysphoria and prescriptions for anti-androgens and estrogen.
Oh, that's brutal.
Boom.
That is brutal.
Once again, the trans activists will despise this.
What's the scientific validity for people saying that they have gender dysphoria? Well, all they have to do is tell us, because there's nothing we can do to prove it. And so someone can literally just lie and say, yeah, all of the words you want to hear, and now here's the pills.
And this is something I've seen before with like the female to male ones where they go, well, I literally go on YouTube, some trans influencer basically gives me a script that I read out to a doctor, and then I immediately get prescribed testosterone.
Exactly. There's no science or, nothing behind it other than their opinion.
Yeah, and now Tina has been living full-time as a woman for the past year and recently travelled to Spain for a consultation with a facial feminization surgeon. She has, since she has been clinically diagnosed with dysphoria, the German government will cover all costs associated with the transition, which she estimates will total about 80,000 euros.
Jesus
So not only are incels transitioning to get a better life, the taxpayer is funding it as well.
And there's no program for, the incels to go, look, doctor, I feel depressed because I'm fat and, flabby and I've never lifted a weight. And the German government's like, hey, we'll pay for your gym membership,
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be good, right? There's no incentive in the opposite direction. The incentive is only, why don't you just become a woman?
There you go. And interestingly, this article continues to say, most transmax discourse has little to say about women transitioning to become men.
Wow, why would it?
Vintology says that he, this is one person on this Discord, says that he would ban female-to-male transition completely for the good of society, citing these 5 reasons.
Okay.
Number 1, female-to-male transition is detrimental for the fertility rate in most cases, as there's no good way to preserve fertility.
That's true.
That's a good point. Female-to-male transition makes the incel problem worse.
What, so are you suggesting that Elliot Page is now just an incel?
I mean...
Yes. Obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he literally looks like the Virgin Walk meme, so I can't
really
deny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and then female to male transition result in less beautiful females in society. I mean, that's just also true.
Fair.
Female to male transition seems to have worse overall outcomes in studies. True. And female to male transition generally rely more on irreversible surgeries such as mastectomies, which leave permanent scars. Also, the effects from testosterone are much harder to reverse.
I believe it.
This is all true because what you'll find from the transmaxers, if we go into the actual document now, we won't rest on the document for too long because once again, just grab the bar at the side and just scroll through it because there is so much detail in here, and there's multiple pages given over to just memes as well, as you would kind of expect. Look, here are some of the success stories.
Yeah.
Look, I was this little Twinkie boy. Look how pretty I am now.
The
There
thing
you
is,
go.
like, okay, so take this guy on the left, right? Okay, yeah, you are young and kind of beardless, but if you started doing things that would up your testosterone level, so you'd actually start growing a beard, like, you know, play contact sports, you know, go to the gym, work out, whatever. It's not that you were in a particularly hopeless position. It's just that you were young.
Mm-hmm. And now you've made this big decision where you've got tits now.
Yeah, okay, good luck.
Fair play, good luck to you, but it's still weird, okay?
Yeah.
And one of the things that you find... I
none
found
of these
reading
men
this,
look like irredeemable cases to me.
No, they really don't. But one of the things you'll find as well is they actively suggest... Okay, one of the questions that they ask is, but won't my neo-vagina be horrible? And they just go, well, don't get one. We would never recommend you get one. Keep your penis. And they say... People will find it kinkier anyway, because once again, one of the goals of this is to be able to sleep with more people, and if you can be somebody's fetish, then you're more likely to be successful. I mean, look at these. Very strange, but... but... I think that's enough of the Transmaxxing Manifesto now. So one of the things that I noticed as well is that I saw this, which is that people aren't just using the logic to fight back against the loneliness of being an incel. Some people are using this logic to fight back
against the way the law is stacked against men.
Yep, man legally changed gender to gain custody of kids. Trans groups concerned.
I mean, that surely tells you everything you need to know about the state of men's rights in this society.
I mean, seriously, like this Vice article is basically just saying here, legal system is so stacked against men, he has to change gender to get his kids. Trans most affected.
Yeah.
Trans most affected. As always, in the actual article itself, he goes into it a little bit more. The man, Rene Salinas Ramos, told local media the change was not related to his sexuality or identity. It's just that the Ecuadorian legal system gives preferable rights to mothers over fathers when it comes to the custody of children. There you go.
So I became the mother.
Yeah, so literally, that's what he says. These laws say that one who has the right is the woman. As of this moment, I am female. Now I'm also a mom. That's how I consider myself.
Well, that's what the law says.
There you go. So trans rights groups don't hate the player, hate the game. You set the rules up. This is just the logical consequence of it. And Transmaxxers, I kind of sympathise with your plight, but it's still very strange. Like Carl says, maybe get a gym membership instead of going ahead with all of this gender transition nonsense.
Play contact sports. That's what I'd recommend.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the premium videos we do, this one on the politics of Mulholland Drive. If you'd like to find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.